Hi, my name is Sanna Gaballeo and I'm a part of the Stockholm Design Week and Stockholm Furniture and Light Fair team. Today we have gathered some of our Scandinavian friends in the design and architecture community for a discussion on the topic Scandinavian design and the future post-COVID-19. Almost every day we in the team get the question how we think Stockholm Design Week is affected by these challenging times, and we think that on a creative level we have a lot to look forward to. History has shown that creativity benefits from crisis, so the variation of what we will see in February 2021 might even be greater than usual. However, what we all have learned during this period is that we have no control over the future. The conditions look good for us to be able to carry out Stockholm Design Week in February 2021, and we are looking forward to see you all here in Stockholm. Since we can't meet in real life, we initiated this design relay where the designers ask each other questions about their thoughts on the topics. So here is my baton. I will pass it on to Sanna. Sanna, I know this is not a baton, but this was the closest I could get. Sanna from Note Design Studio, I will ask you, what to you constitutes Scandinavian design?
Hi, I am Sanna. I am an interior architect at Note Design Studio in Stockholm. The question we were asked was, what to you constitutes Scandinavian design? To us, Scandinavian design as a definition is too wide. There are a lot of differences between the Scandinavian countries that people might not think of or be aware of. As for us, we're Swedish designers, we're working in a global context, and what defines us is our belief that every voice has a value and needs to be heard, and that collaboration is the way forward. And also by trusting innovation with an open mind, that's also a way to move forward. And there's an ongoing movement throughout this country based upon the belief that we're building our future together, step by step, to make our world more sustainable, hopefully more aesthetic and usable for us and coming generations. That to us is the Swedish part of Scandinavian design. Now, our question goes to Anja Septon. Anja, how do you think COVID-19 will change Scandinavian, or if you prefer, Swedish design?
We will have a high value of the locally produced products. We will probably see new ways of exporting and producing our products. Companies that are coming together in collaboration using each other's factories instead of exporting their products in between the countries. That would provide us with a lot of new knowledge, a faster way of finding new materials, and above all, probably provide those companies that suffer quite hard from COVID-19 with work. As a designer, I see this as an opportunity to be a part of the change and further engage in what material and what purpose the product should have for the new norm. I will be passing my question to Space Copenhagen. The new normal, what can design do?
Hi there, I'm Peter.
And I'm Signe.
We're from Space Copenhagen. Design a new normal. It's very difficult to sort of be prophetic about the future and what's going to happen. But what do you think, Signe?
Well, I think coming from where we come from, Scandinavia, I think maybe one of the reasons why Scandinavian sort of approach still resonates is because it's somehow grounded in a very disciplined humanism. And I think in these times, I think that's something that we can really draw from as architects. Don't you think?
I think you might be right. I think it's. I mean, especially in our branch of design, it's probably more of a holistic nature. But I truly think that a certain awareness of applying the right context to the right circumstance will be more in focus than we've seen before. We certainly hope so, and look forward to being a part of that.
Yeah.
Short
no,
answer.
Yeah.
Yes. But
Completely agree.
next on our topic list is a question for mass production. It is, what can we learn from this period in time? That's all from us for now. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Hi, my name is Magnus Albeck. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Swedish furniture producer Mass Productions. Thank you Space Copenhagen for sending that question over to me. What can we learn from this period in time? A few things came to my mind. Globalization in all its glory. But it seemed to me that in order to be less vulnerable in situations like this, we need to focus more on the mid-size industries close to our markets. Here in Sweden, the politicians have been neglecting the mid-size industries for so long. And I think it's time to see the value with them. Luckily enough, Mass Productions have a handful of really good sub-suppliers close by that have been able to help us through the crisis without any supply chain problems at all. Second thing, which is probably the silver lining to this massive cloud, is maybe we need to slow down a bit and reflect a bit more often on what we're doing and where we're heading. We were talking about this early this year with the I'm Slow manifesto, but it's become even more obvious now that we need to think twice before producing something. With this said, I'd like to pass a question on to Katrin Olina. What habits and elements will you keep once we're back to something we could call normal again? Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello everyone. I'm from Iceland, but I find myself during this time in Helsinki. We're so lucky here that we can go outside. We're not restricted to the home. But I have the feeling that this is a time of the little things. You know, when we start to notice our immediate surroundings, the objects in our lives, nature in a new way. So it's also a great time for introspection. It's a great time to actually get to know yourself. Element of this time, of this period, must be oxygen. I no longer take breathing for granted, and I think we're so lucky here in the north to be able to breathe this fresh and clean air. I think that's it for now. I have a question for you, Luca. When we go back to work after this crisis, what will it be like? Bye-bye.
When we are going back to work after the crisis, I think one of the most interesting things will be to see how the trade show that all of us we were attending will change. I'm quite sure that will be very different also the way that we need to meet people. Probably we need to book a meeting into the booth of our client, and probably there will be a lot of different things. And I think it will be very interesting to see how the company will develop different strategy also in attending this kind of situation. I'm also very interested to see how the sustainability can play a greater part in the design after the COVID. And I would love to ask this question to my friend of Formas with Love.
Hi, I'm Jonas Pettersson, co-founder at Formas with Love. Will sustainability play a greater role in design after COVID-19? I mean, with or without Corona, the world has to transform into much more sustainable consumption and production, where we see designers have a huge role to play. This crisis will for sure speed up change. It's the biggest thing that, for us at least, has happened in the world and for us personally. And it's going to be kind of a new normal that we need to adapt to. We see with our international clients that I would say sustainability in itself has changed from a little bit more short-term initiatives to much more long-term strategies that it's built into the core of the business model. And we see good examples like the Swedish company Cake that do electrified motorbikes, as also with our own venture Forgo, where sustainability is natural, it's part of the company. And I would say those brands are really well equipped for the new normal. At the moment we're working with one of the largest food player in the world, and really looking into the brief of like how can we actually consume in a circular way to get rid and reduce of this enormous trash we're all creating every day in our homes. And that needs to be looked upon as a very holistic design task. And a few years ago that was not really asked for a design studio like us, but today it is, and it will be for sure in the future. The next question goes to PP Möbler, and we would like to know what's your view on Scandinavian design.
Hi, my name is Kasper Petersen. I'm the third generation master of craftsmen of PP Möbler in Denmark. What to me constitutes Scandinavian design? Well, I think Scandinavian design has many phases, but the one I think is the most important for Scandinavian design is the connection to craftsmanship. With craftsmanship and design, we can make objects that are usable and desirable and so well made so that they will last for many years to come. This chair is made out of wood. It's a piece of oak, and it ages very well, even if it's just naturally treated. Such a piece of wood like this will be desirable for decades to come. This, I think, is a good way to pay respect for the nature that we source our raw materials from. We have to use the forests. We have to use them carefully, but we have to use them because it's much better to use forests and to harvest trees than to use plastic.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Design Relay. Hope to see you in Stockholm, February 2021. Until then, we say bye.